All right, Todd, when most people think precision or hear the word precision rifle, you typically think of the bolt gun. But with today's guns, these gas guns that are coming out nowadays, they're pretty competitive. And I'm finding that some of these gas guns that, like specifically some of these we've been running this week, are way more accurate than some of my bolt guns.
Yeah, you know, it's really amazing. When you think gas guns, we initially think like the M14. And then we moved into the SPRs and the SR25s and those types of systems. And really, we kind of accepted that the accuracy was really going to be probably somewhere around a minute, minute and a half. But the reality is, now, systems like the OBR, you know, and I wouldn't have actually thought this. I was actually a skeptic too when, you know, people are telling me the accuracy that they initially were starting to get out of them. And, you know, and I was shooting one from day one, and it was a very accurate system. You know, mine was a half-a-minute gun, but the further we go on, the better they get. When I was building my nomogram, or the whiz wheel, I needed a good algorithm. So we went out and was doing some testing. I had my surgeon rifles, and I just got in my 20-inch OBR. So I just carried it out just to play with it, to get a little time on it while we were out there shooting. And what I found was, at that day, with that ammo, that gun was really one of the most accurate guns that I owned, to the point that when we started doing testing, it shot a 4-inch group at 800 meters.
We are big advocates of what works, and you said it perfect, man. When you know, you got a boy that's about to go in the military possibly, and I've got a 12-year-old son that he's already talking about going in the military, and what kind of people would we be if we advocated a kit that didn't work?
Absolutely.
And so that's where I'm in the same school of thought as you, and I tell you that I'm shocked about how this gun has performed, and since I've been using this, I mean, shooting an 8-inch group the other day at 1,200 yards, I would never imagine that. Shooting this thing out to a mile, I would never imagine that. And it's an auto gun. It's magazine fed. I can actually be more confident clearing a room with it if I had to, because there's many times where we would have to carry bolt guns in country overseas, and we're going through a 10-story building trying to get to a position with 4 or 5 rounds in the gun and no side optics, no nothing. But now, I mean, the way they're building these things, you know, putting that metal into certain places to make the tolerances a hell of a lot tighter. So, you know, it just says accuracy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the collapsibility of these systems, you can nearly do anything. And that's the neat thing about gas guns. You know, for the boys that are working downrange, they can keep it in the car with them. It's short, it's compact. You know, a lot of guys ask me, you know, what do I need to buy? 16 and 18 and 20-inch. And, you know, I was a big fan. A gas gun is a gas gun, so make it short. You know, to keep it legal, run a 16-inch gun, you know, as far as legal here in the United States with us. So,
sure.
You know, I like the 16-inch gun. I think a gas gun is made to be a 16-inch gun. That was what I thought. But really, when you start looking at it, the 20, the 18, the 16, it really doesn't matter. We've shot all 3 of them out to a mile. So it's just, you know, what you're really looking for. What kind of muzzle velocity are you wanting? You know, with the 16s, we're getting around 2,500 feet per second. The 18s are right at 2,550, and then the 20-inch models are getting right at 2,600 to 2,620. So, you know, we're really not losing that much anymore with the gas guns, and they're amazing weapon systems. You know, there's Picatinny rails. They're very modular. We can put rails wherever we want. We've seen a great progression, you know, from even the Barrett. You know, the M107 is a great weapon system. I've actually shot that weapon system out to 4,889 meters up in Utah. You know, a lot of people say, well, it's a 3 or 4-inch gun. Maybe at 100 it is, all right, but that's not made to be shot at 100 meters. That's not what that weapon system was made for. You know, with the Raufoss Mark II 11 that we shoot, you know, in training, that gun is a 1.5-minute gun at a mile, you know, so, you know, that's consistently what we see with the guys shooting it. You know, depending on guy to guy, it may be 2 minutes for one guy, but, you know, for what it's designed for, it's hard to actually beat that weapon system.
No, I find the same thing when I'm shooting close and shooting far. My groups are much more accurate out there, and that explains why. What do you think about 5.56 SPRs? I know there's a lot of 5.56 in circulation out there. I've used 5.56 SPRs in combat, and you know, they work.
Yeah, I think they're great weapon systems. You know, they're lightweight. We can carry lots of ammo with it. You know, so it's one of those things, you know, just like we're talking about bolt guns and gas guns and different types of optics that we can use on each one of them. You know, really what it comes down to, it's a different tool. It's a different tool for the job. You know, if you're going long range as far as in the movement, you know, and covering lots of area, and you may be going to into a hot zone where you need a lot of ammo. And I don't try to tell the guys, you know, my opinion of anything that I train as far as what they should do tactically. I keep my mouth shut. They're big boys, they know what they're doing. My deal is everything is a tool, whether it's an optic, whether it's a caliber choice, you know. But like, you know, for your question, I love the SPR. I think it's a great weapon system. You know, for the job it was meant for, it's hard to beat. And I'm not a big fan of moving away from 5.56. I look at the bullet, whether it's, you know, green tip or Mark 262 in the 77 grain. I look at each one of those as different tools. You don't use a 5/8 wrench to actually overhaul your motor. You know, you're going to have a, you know, a lot of different tools to do the job. And I wouldn't move to 6.8, you know, personally. I'm not looking for a different caliber. Maybe different types of bullets that are already currently in the system that can do the job better. You know, I like looking at the tools that we use. With this weapon system here, when the guys come in, a lot of times we'll do a sniper class / carbine class. And my carbine class is not square-based stuff. I mean, y'all do a great job with that, malfunction drills, the whole deal. My carbine class starts at 200 and goes to 800 with that type of weapon system.
That's awesome. And then, like when I was in Iraq, when using the SPR version, and a lot of people ask me, well, don't you wish you had a 308? And I'm like, you know, looking back on that, no, I don't. I'm glad I had that, because, you know, I was pushing out the targets at 700 plus meters, and I was shocked that I was hitting. And now that I look back, I'm just surprised that I'm shocked that I was shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, especially with some of these new weapons coming out, that's, like you said, that's at my end of the world gun is yep. Probably 5.56.
Yeah, you know, we laugh and we sit around at night and we talk with every group that comes through. You know, what's your end of the world gun? And you know, people go, oh, he's paranoid. You know, he's losing his brain. But my deal is, you know, being prepared is a lot better than waking up one day going, oh wow, the lights are out. You know, and you look at what happened in New Orleans and that kind of deal. Now, 308's a great gun, but it takes heavy ammo, and you know, you can do a lot more and carry a lot more ammo with the 5.56. So as far as if I had to buy one gun, I'm not for sure it wouldn't be something just like that.
Well, people need to realize too, I mean, we're probably way off topic, but terror and chaos is a statistic of history. So it's something everybody needs to think about.
Absolutely.
We got a lot of tactical-ish, you know, weapon systems here. I mean, I still use these for hunting and everything that I do, but what other kind of systems are out there, you know, for the competitive side? I'm not big into the precision competitive side. I know you've done a lot of competitions, but I know there's some great manufacturers out there making some good stuff, and we'll talk about those as well.
Yeah, you have weapons like JP, a great competitive gun, very accurate, you know, and HK on the tactical side, you know, that's another very good weapon system. You know, the neat thing about ARs is it's kind of like that do-it-yourself, you know, in your garage. You can actually take and buy all the components and put it together and be your own gunsmith, which is kind of fun if you're kind of tuned to go that way. It's your own personal design, you know, and you can do a lot with it. And there's a lot of different mods that you can actually buy and accessorize your weapon system. You know, but if you look at weapon systems like this as compared to bolt guns, what you really think about is price, you know, being the initial deal. You know, whether it's a $4,000 or $5,000 custom gun and up, or you look at a gun like this, it's honestly may be just as accurate, but this is only $3,000.
Yeah, half the price sometimes.
And I'm not knocking whether you buy a bolt gun or a gas gun, because to me they're different tools, you know. But it's just one of those deals that some people may not have the money to buy a bolt gun, so this may actually fit their need now that they are as accurate as they are. Could a gas gun be as accurate as a bolt gun? I didn't think so. Now I believe it because I see it.
You know, Todd, one thing, coming from a big hunting background, I look for accessories that are either going to offer me portability and stability, but also lightweight. We understand that in a hunting, law enforcement, or military community, that ounces equal pounds, pounds equals pain. We've heard that saying a lot. So one of the things that I look for to give me good support and stability in the field for any of my systems that I'm running, be it bipods, shooting sticks, or even my packs.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you know, talking about that, the stability portion, one of the big deals that we kind of look at is whether we shoot with a shooting glove or a rear bag. And the reason we make the rear bags like this, you know, when I started getting around a lot of shooters, I noticed that the rear bag was a sock filled with sand. It was this big and it was real tight, so there wasn't a lot of modularity with it. You had this or you had this, and that was it. But you know, with something like this, you can fold it in half all right, so you can get a lot of stability here. You can actually cut it off and take a pinch of it, or you can shake it down and squeeze it up and get real high. So there's a lot of uses for this. Now, starting from the ground up, you've got something like this, the LaRue quick detachable bipod, but this is a 6-9 swivel, and the swivel is very important. A lot of people actually run out and buy the other style that doesn't swivel because they really don't understand what they need. And what you're going to end up finding out, you have to go down there and loosen it up, lift it up, let it fall back down, check, see if it's level, because if you're not level, you're missing a lot of long range.
That was a huge factor for me, and a big eye-opener out here was just the actual cant on the weapon system out to distance, and it really made a difference in hits or misses.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in the next one, hand me those hunting bipods. Now, this is a Harris bipod as well, just like the LaRue is, which this is just a Harris with some mods on it. But, you know, you can take this and actually get some stability because, you know, both of us from the hunting background, you know, you don't get to lay prone every time you take a shot.
That's for sure.
So something like this is actually very nice, and it's something that we're actually continuing on, and we're actually creating mods for, so that we can actually stick stuff on that actually gives us more height very quickly. All right, but this is actually a very good piece of kit. It's not that heavy, but again, like you talked about, you know, it is heavy enough that you may want to make a decision. You know, when you actually look at something like this, all right, one of these two, go ahead and open those up. You know, these are really nice. These are lightweight. Like I said, I carried these to Alaska. This is really nice. It's lightweight, gives you really good stability. Like you said, you can use them for tent poles, all right? So something like that has a little bit more rigidity, and really you could carry both these because they're very lightweight and they're very useful. And you know, and our next step is going to something like this where it's actually a tripod. You can get some adjustability. You can actually stand this one up fairly tall. You know, and this is something that you can use. It's, you know, pretty modular as far as the height that we can work with. And as you see, this flows right into this, which actually you can mount your weapon system onto.
What I found that was really unique was the fact of using the tripod as well as the shooting sticks together in a tandem roll, which actually created a really stable platform when loading it, which really enabled us to make shots at extended distances that you would never really honestly try before offhand, or even just supported on a bag somewhere over a rock outcropping.
Right, and you're exactly right. You know, and the one thing that you talked about, you've got to make a choice between all these. You can shoot off your pack as well. Like we said, this is still pretty low to the ground though. You know, this is something that you're gonna have to pick in between when you go hunting. You know, but when you look at packs, this is a very nice pack. It's Glenn Eberle's pack. I can actually take my folding stock right out of it, you know, so this is a very nice system as far as a pack that actually conceals the gun very nicely. Even though if I'm not looking to conceal it, it has a top cover on it to where I can keep the rain off my weapon system. So this is a very nice pack. It has a lot of different features as far as pockets and different design features. It's the Phantom pack, but I see you have another pack with you today. What is that?
This is the pack from Arc'teryx, which is their Halo pack. What's really nice about it, it's covered in moly. It gives us a lot of adaptability. The one thing that I do like about this is one of the features that I've added to this pack is from Gene at High Speed Gear out of North Carolina, is their Mars. And what this does, this allows full coverage of the muzzle to the buttstock, folds right up, snap it in, and I'm all set.
That's really nice. Very simplistic design. It's very functional.
Yeah. The other thing that we've done too is added High Speed Gear's new taco pouches. So if you're in a mission adaptable role, such as a law enforcement setting, military, and you're changing calibers, or even in a hunting situation, I can go from a 5.56 magazine right to a PMag 20 LR, even to a 10-round hunting magazine for one of the other precision guns.
That's very nice.
Very low profile, and it really serves a lot of purpose. It allows you to change from one set of kit without spending a lot of money and have it perform multifunctional roles.
You know, really what you have to do is look at what you're doing. If you're going on a hunt, you have to decide how much weight you can actually carry. So you're gonna have to decide whether you like the little sticks, little bipods. Look at your area that you're going into. Does it have high grass? Can you get up on top of a high hill? So this is just a very small taste of what's out there and available to the public.
Yeah, there really is a lot available, and it's up to the user really to decide what their mission is and what's driving their